Chinese rooftop climber fails at roof climbing. A Chinese climber's feelings were crushed, along with some other stuff, when he tried to scale a tall building for some selfies. Wu Yongning was apparently known for making roof-topping videos and had quite a few followers on China's Twitter knockoff Weibo. Roof-topping involves climbing tall city buildings without safety equipment, and of course, endless selfies are mandatory. Wu was participating in a roof-topping challenge on November 8th for prize money when the rooftop turned out to be too challenging. While trying to do some pull-ups rather than dominating the skyscraper, they were scraping him off 62 stories below. Guess that's what happens when you live life on the edge. You fall off sometimes. Keep watching for more uplifting China stories.
China opens its first overseas military base. China has deployed troops and warships to Djibouti in the Horn of Africa to set up the country's first overseas military base. But the PRC claims it is not seeking military expansionism. On Tuesday, China deployed an amphibious transport dock and a semi-submersible cargo ship, which can accommodate a variety of helicopters and armored fighting vehicles, along with an undisclosed number of military personnel. The two warships departed from a military port in Zhanjiang and are sailing across the Indian Ocean to Djibouti. China will join the US, France, Italy, and Japan, which have already set up military bases in Djibouti. China has expanded its military presence in Africa in recent years, with more than 2,500 Chinese soldiers already deployed in South Sudan, Liberia, and Mali. The nation's navy has been conducting escorting missions in the Gulf of Aden off Somalia since 2008. China has also invested heavily in infrastructure projects in Africa in recent years. It's estimated that 1 million Chinese nationals currently reside in Africa. China powers on world's largest floating solar farm. China just flipped the on switch on their latest green energy project. A new floating solar farm constructed on a lake in Huainan City in central China is said to be the largest in the world. It is made up of 160,000 solar panels. These panels can produce electricity for up to 15,000 homes. The farm is connected to a city where some 2.5 million people reside. The panels are placed at varying depths over the lake. The water helps cool the electronics in the devices and stops them from overheating. Solar energy, like wind, is sporadic and environmentally dependent, meaning the amount of power panels can gather may sometimes fluctuate depending on the weather.
Cooking oil in China is recycled from the gutters. Chinese authorities have battled to get rid of gutter oil in the country's kitchens for years, cracking down on illegal oil production rings since 2011. But now it seems the black market oil in street-side stalls could be used to power up airplane engines. With Chinese cooking being so heavy on the oil, some enterprising people thought up a cheap way to produce it by recycling garbage. First, they scoop up waste containing used oil or animal fat from sewers, gutters, or dumpsters and take it to processing plants. After the mixture is refined and processed, the oil is repackaged and sold to vendors in small restaurants at below-market prices. As reprocessed sewage, gutter oil contains carcinogens, which may lead to cancer and other health problems. But with the disgusting oil served up in cheap street eats, unsuspecting foodies may be none the wiser. Other countries have long used recycled oil not for cooking, but for industrial purposes, something China only caught on to in recent years. In 2014, Boeing partnered with a Chinese aircraft company to turn gutter oil into sustainable biofuel. After a Hainan Airlines flight flew from Shanghai to Beijing last March on a 50-50 mix of gutter oil and jet fuel, China might very well turn gutter oil into gold.
China is building a city covered in plants. The world's first forest city, designed by Italian architect Stefano Borelli, is currently under construction in southern China and is expected to be completed by the year 2020. The forest city is located in a mountainous region north of the city of Luzhou in southern China. The city will host 30,000 people and will include offices, houses, hotels, hospitals, and schools. The buildings will draw on geothermal energy to provide cooling and heating systems for interior air conditioning. Solar panels will be installed over the rooftops to harvest solar energy. A total of 40,000 trees and almost 1 million plants representing over 100 species will be planted on building facades, in parks, and on city streets. The trees and plants will absorb an estimated 10,000 tons of carbon dioxide and 57 tons of fine dust pollutants each year. Meanwhile, the greenery will produce 900 tons of oxygen annually. A fast rail line will connect the forest city to Liuzhou, a city with a population of some 3.7 million. Vertical forests have become a recent popular concept in architecture. Nanjing in eastern China is currently building 2 green towers that can absorb 25 tons of carbon dioxide a year. Taipei City in Taiwan is also building a carbon-eating tower, which reportedly will be able to absorb 130 tons of carbon dioxide emissions a year.